We got the first female umpire in MLB history. We got the second female umpire in MLB history. And now we got the new most hated umpire in baseball. And the biggest shock of all is that it's neither of the women. 2025 out here breaking a ton of barriers. What a year. And by the way, that woman thing was a joke. Don't worry. I'm the biggest civil rights activist you probably know. Women, men, blacks, whites, etc. I hate them all equally. Call me Martin Luther Killmonger. I don't know. Anyway, thank you for being here. I love you guys so much. Subscribed or not. And if you haven't joined the 49% elite humans, consider hitting that button if you enjoy the videos, as ever since Angel Hernandez retired, the world has been wondering who can take up the mantle for worst and most hated umpire. It's a very sacred mantle, probably on the level of the Pope. So we got to be very careful on who we choose to carry this title, but we may have found him, at least for now. And his name is John Cena. No, his name is Brian Walsh. And the first worst call I saw him make was this one against Ketel Marte back in July. I mean, yeah, I guess good framing job by the catcher, but this is very obviously outside and a crappy way to end a one-run game. This would have put two guys on base, the tying run in scoring position. God, it must suck to work a great at-bat against a great pitcher and then get boned like that. But Walsh gave it to Hader and to the Astros overall in this game. He missed 9 calls and 8 of them went against the D-bags. He doesn't like all orange teams, though. Check this one out. A week later, Orioles Blue Jays, Zach Eflin throws a pitch that really couldn't have been more down the dick. Called the ball. I mean, this is one of those where it was so shocking. It took Eflin and catcher Adley Rutschman a couple seconds to realize it wasn't called a strike. Rutschman went in a shock. Took him a second to throw the ball back. Eflin does a double take like he just saw a cyclops in the stands. Like, what is going on? Ironically, the Orioles actually overall benefited from Walsh's bad game calling for the whole game, but there are a couple things regarding Brian Walsh that are very interesting. Number one, an Astros bias, whether it's intentional or not. The Astros seem to really benefit from Walsh umpiring their games. You saw the Marte call, but Walsh has umpired 4 Astros games over the last calendar year, and his calls have favored the Astros in all 4 of them, with 3 of those 4 games being decided by 1 run. So those calls mean that much more with the game on the line. Not stating anything about how intentional it is. It's just admittedly interesting. Okay, well, here's where it gets crazier. In the latest chapter of this Brian Walsh arc, we got the most recent Astros game he was behind the plate for, Astros Yankees. Walsh missed 21 calls in this game, 15 of which went against the Yankees, so it helped Houston. And to make things even worse, 6 of those bad calls came in the last 2 innings, all which were against the Yankees. So it's the 8th inning in this game. The Astros were down 4-1 earlier. They tied it in the 7th. Devin Williams on to keep it at 4-4. And Carlos Correa didn't give Walsh any chance to give him a call. He swung at almost every pitch he saw in this at-bat. In fact, the one pitch he didn't swing at, he almost did. He check swung and then lines a double to right. So Astros starting off hot. Now Jesus Sanchez, first pitch may have clipped the zone, but that was really running in, and the way Yankees catcher Austin Wells caught it, you can understand him calling this a ball. Next pitch changeup in there, called a strike, but then there's this next pitch that's also a strike, and they question whether he swung or not. They rule it no swing, but that shouldn't have mattered. It should have been called strike 2. Instead, it's 2-1, another check swing, 3-1, and then he walks him. To start this outing, that one pitch to Sanchez was really the worst one. After that, he strikes out Yainer Diaz, then Christian Walker makes his ancestors proud by walking, and Walsh called all these right. Even this one on the corner to get it to a full count. And Williams obviously wanted this pitch, but it is outside. Out comes Ramon Urias, and he punches him out. Okay, great. One more out to go and get out of this. This is when things completely unraveled. First pitch to Taylor Trammell, or as Framber Valdez would refer to him as, the right fielder. This pitch is outside, this pitch is high, but this one is also called a ball despite it being in the zone. It's just like that first one of Sanchez, but even more in the zone. Nope, 3-0. Next pitch also in that same area, this time called a strike. 3-1 count, goes with the changeup, and he just misses. Williams wanted it. He's pissed, but this is a ball. It's low. So he walks, the bases loaded. Astros take the lead. Out goes Devin, but not before letting Walsh know how much he loves him. And then Aaron Boone, of course, cannot have a situation like this go by without injecting himself into it. He's pissed. Williams got ejected, by the way. It's his first career ejection. The contrast between him and Boone, who also gets ejected. It's Boone's like 200th of his career. Not really. It's like his 45th or whatever. But yeah, another day at the office for Boone. Meanwhile, Meanwhile, Devin is doing something he's never done before. Not on the mound, him walking people the way he did. That's been very normal this year, but getting ejected, that was a first. So that all happens. In comes Camilo Doval, who started having issues with his PitchCom. He couldn't hear his earpiece, so out comes Wells, but also Walsh to figure out what's going on. Not that long of a delay. They go right back. Then Jeremy Pena takes the second pitch. He sees a 99-mile-an-hour fastball into right field to drive home another run for Houston. It's 6-4. Oh, it gets worse. Then Doval is called for a balk. He gets called for a balk, throwing his first pitch to Yordan Alvarez, so that forces another run home. The Yankees are all confused. Like, why? Why is that a balk? Jazz is getting an explanation. He's like, damn, at least I better not get screwed over on a call. Doval then starts having more issues with PitchCom, so Wells has to come out again. And there's actually something Wells said after the game on how Walsh handled this situation. Wells said that Camilo Doval doesn't really speak great English, and the Yankees only have one PitchCom that really works with just Spanish. And, well, Walsh didn't seem to care what the deal was. He apparently told them he gave them a chance to fix it the first time that they went out there, and then decided that it was a disengagement, and Wells and they were trying to explain to him their case, which is what you're seeing here. And Walsh said that they were lucky that they didn't get a violation and that it was just a balk. Then this umpire was all amped up, started shooing someone away in the Yankee dugout. This turned into a disaster quick. And it wasn't even done. It gets worse. Doval eventually throws a wild pitch. Another run comes home for the Astros. I mean, that's 3 out of these 4 runs gifted. And Yordan does end up grounding out to end the inning. But yeah, that turned south quick. But the Yankees jumped right back. In the 9th, down 4, Ryan McMahon, a 1-out base hit. Then Aaron Judge with 2 outs slams one into center. Then Cody Bellinger crushes a slider out for a 3-run homer. That immediately reminded me of the 3-run homer he hit in this same spot in the 2017 World Series, but just like the Dodgers that night, the Yankees ended up losing this game by 1 run. Jazz Chisholm up at the plate works a full count, and he gets Ketel Marte. Slider clearly off the plate, called for strike 3. And what makes this worse is all the borderline pitches Walsh called balls for the Astros. But here, this one is a strike. Jazz is heated, taking to Twitter after the game. You know it's bad when Jazz has to go to Twitter to talk about it. You know it's bad when Knicks player Josh Hart is even tweeting about it, calling for Walsh to be suspended, a tweet that Jazz retweeted. There was also another tweet that has since been deleted, but of a dude complaining about Jazz complaining about the bad call, but it takes 2 seconds to realize it's classic rage bait. I don't think this dude actually thinks Jazz should be suspended 10 games for this, but Jazz replied and said,
"How would you like to suck my balls?"
What did you say?
I'm sorry. Actually, what I said was, "How would you like to suck my balls?"
This didn't end here. As if Yankees fans didn't have enough to be upset about with Walsh, well, the internet did what the internet does and did some research, finding Walsh's Facebook account, and on that Facebook account, couple of interesting photos we got here. I mean, I personally like what he's wearing in these pictures. I don't see the issue. I mean, come on, Aaron Judge has done it before. Yeah, this, of course, fuels even more hate and conspiracy. I'm pretty sure people even started doxing Walsh. It got ugly. Twitter is the worst of our society for sure. If there's one app to sum up the worst of human evolution, it's that one. But hey, at least I can see what people who block me are tweeting, which is what you can't do on any other social media app. Like, the reason I even saw this picture to begin with was because of this dude's tweet about it, and he has me blocked for whatever reason. I don't even know who he is, never seen his account in my life before this tweet, but I can still see what you tweet, so thanks for this one. But yeah, people are also referencing this moment where he calls this pitch a ball and then pump fakes a strike call. Like, he flinches after a second as if he's about to say strike and then doesn't. Bro's character just glitches out. Now, the most realistic scenario here is that Walsh really is just a bad umpire. Last year, Walsh called, I think, the worst game of the season. He missed 24 calls. In fact, it was so bad, it was the lowest rated game in like 2 years. And it was a Yankee game, but when you look at it, a lot of these calls, it wasn't that one-sided. I mean, he helped Yankee pitcher Luis Heel out a lot, and he also called several pitches in the zone to Yankee hitters balls. And then about a month ago, he called the lowest rated game of this season too. He also missed 24 calls in this one. It was really bad, but I mean, look who's playing. It's the D-backs and Rockies. Like, this has nothing to do with the Yankees or Astros or Red Sox. So the most consistent and obvious thing I see is just how bad Walsh is at his job, not necessarily any bias. But hey, these pictures definitely make it fun. And yeah, I mean, it's like Taylor Swift being at a Chiefs game and not expecting the cameras to show her every 3 minutes. You know damn well the internet won't just gloss over this umpire who just boned the Yankees, looking like the biggest Red Sox fan in the world. Which, I don't know when these pictures are from. I assume they're from a long time ago, but yeah, Either way, internet's gonna go crazy over them. Let me know your thoughts, and thank you for watching. Love you. Bye.